New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? It's J Eliis from Knick of Time Show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to dive into the second part 2 of our mid-season breakdown, talking about our beloved New York Knicks. So far, so good. We've overachieved a little bit. You know, we're 6th place, 19 of 18, 6th in the East. So we were predicted to win only 22 of 23 games, but we're on pace to win 37 games so far this season, and we are on our way, man. Second best defense in the league. Our offense is catching up to our defense. We've added new players. We have an all-star. Things are looking up for the first time. But today we're gonna really see if we really are what we think we are made of. We're facing the Milwaukee Bucks, and we're gonna get into these midseason breakdowns and these midseason players, what they did, what they can improve on, their grades. And I want y'all to participate with us. Tell us what you think of the grades, what you think these players deserve for their performance in this midseason, okay? But before we even start to get into that, let me introduce my guy from the podcast across the street, Alex Tradacaster, man. Trateros, I call him Tradacaster. I'm mixing up Tradacaster or Trateros. Alex Trateros from Knicks, Jets, etc. Always does good work, joins me on the KOT show all the time, man. Glad to have you, bro.
Glad to be here, Jay. I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy that you invited me on to talk mid-season Knicks. There's a good amount of stuff to review. A lot of good things that we saw. There's also a few not as many alarming things that we've seen in the past, but I'm glad to be here to talk about it with you, man. Exactly.
And you guys, let me know how the sound is, because I've been seeing some things that says my sound has been a little bit low. If my sound is fine, hit a 1 or something if the sound is fine, man, and we can get this thing started. All right, how you liking the sound so far? Let me know in the chat. Sound is fine, 1. If I should turn it up, 2. What I got? What you got, chat? Let me know. Yo, and shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to the people who are here early. Shout out to Gregory Castillo, Emperor Indika. Shout out to my guy Fritz. Shout out to Nick P, Frederick, Nick J, B Watts, everybody with the 1. Okay, good. Everybody has the 1. Sound is good. Excellent. Nuggy Fresh. Shout out to Nuggy Fresh in the building, man. I'm glad to see you over here in the building, all right? Cool. Now, let's get this thing started, man. The last pod, we talked about a few players. We talked about Emmanuel quickly. We talked about R.J. Barrett's ascension. We talked about some others. But we haven't talked about the big gun, Mr. All-Star, the guy who should have been shunned last year. We did shun him last year. I tried to ship him out over the summer from Mike Conley. So did you probably, Alex.
I did.
So did everybody in Knicks Nation. But he's pretty much turned things around for the better. All facets of his game has improved and earned him his first All-Star nod, plus an extra bag. Because, once you get an All-Star nod, you get an extra couple of million in the bucket. So for Julius Randle, man, shout out for that bag, getting that bag. Shout out to you, Julius Randle. All right. So Alex, I'm gonna let you start it off. What did you think of Randle's season thus far, overall? And I'll jump in with you.
So far for Julius this season, I mean, it's been great. It's a revelation. We keep talking about this every single time. Whether it's here or on our own podcast, everyone's noticed it. The complete 180 he's done from last season, becoming a leader. As we read in the Players Tribune, we hear about Tom Thibodeau and giving him praises for becoming that leader, and changing his game, being a playmaker, scoring efficiently, playing better defense. If you read that ESPN article about where they interviewed Tom Thibodeau today, he mentions that he's seen the improvement from Julius Randle as 1, a playmaker, and 2, being on the defensive front as well. So from that aspect, that's great. And Julius, we always knew he can get his points. We always knew he can get his boards, but he's doing it in a manner that's actually translating into wins. Yes. It's not stat padding, And that's where, when you look at Julius Randle this season, that's the most impressive part, right? It's that translated. It's like the same translation to like Devin Booker out in the Phoenix Suns. It's like, is this just an empty calories guy? Is this just a guy who can get up points and that's it on a bad team? And that's what we thought of Julius Randle last year. Because we got like 20 some odd. We got 20 some odd wins last season. I forget how many we got. What was it, 21?
It's PTSD. And I try to forget, man. I don't try to remember.
Yeah,
stuff
I mean, I try to forget as well. That's why I don't remember it. I'm just enjoying the moment this season, right? But it's that same aspect. It's like, okay, he got his, but he's doing it at a level where it's just you just see the difference.
Yeah.
So, it's so hard to just it's like to really nitpick Julius Randle. Like, sure, he has some miscues here and there. Like the Spurs game is probably the most daunting one and probably the first game of the preseason. But other than that, he's been, for the most part, pretty flawless in his execution.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see to say anything else about Julius Randle. I mean, that's why he got the All-Stars, because for him to get the All-Star for how tight it was, he had to be close to damn near perfect, and he's been damn near perfect by the way he plays every single night. He's the catalyst of this team. He's the engine, the focal point. Everyone guards for him. He's reading the double teams, passing it to the open man on the wing. He's trusting his teammates. You see he's playing he loves playing with RJ. Him and together, it's like it's the two bullies on the court, just taking it to the paint. So it's amazing. I love it. There's just nothing. I don't know what else to say about Julius Randle. We could talk about his stats, but his stats are honestly it was like a tick up from last season. I don't know. What do you feel about Julius?
You touched on pretty much everything, man. Like the chemistry between, I'll start there. The chemistry between Julius Randle and RJ Barrett from last season to this season. And shout out to the Sirens. That's how you know the show is going to be fire. Fire truck is letting off in the background. You know what that means. You know what that means. The show is going to be off the chain. All right, so the chemistry between Julius Randle and RJ Barrett from first season to this season is just incredible. They're passing to each other. First of all, you don't see the thing where RJ Barrett's clapping in the corner for the ball. They're playing buddy ball. They pass it back and forth to each other. They adjust spacing on the fly. They look for each other, and it just seems like they like each other this year. Maybe not as much last year. I think both of them were on the not liked players list last year, according to rumors. I'm not sure how true that is. Right, but they were both on that list last year. But this year they've both started to like each other, and that's a good sign of just his leadership. That's just taking off. Also, I saw an interview with John with Mark Berman, and Berman was kind of even talking about his leadership from last season to this season. How last season he would just leave the locker room and talk to reporters because he was just so mad, and this season just seems a little bit more engaged. So that's his attitude has just changed. Even in the beginning of the season, another article. There's been a lot of great articles and a lot of great interviews lately. Another article that came out. Tom, it's crazy. We saw this inside look behind the Knicks front office, and you're hearing Tom Thibodeau's thoughts about what he wants to do with his future team. And one of the things they were thinking about was moving Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. That's something that came out. I would be hard. If I had to guess right now, I would guess that Tom Thibodeau is not thinking that right now. He wants to build around this guy because he's just been such a leader, and he's been such a Tom Thibodeau guy, a hard worker. It'd just be too hard to replace him at this point. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah. It's a lot. What more can I say? And to your point, everything has been better. The offense has been better. Offensive rating is 109.4. It's the best since the Pelicans. The Pelicans was a little higher, but the Pelicans is different. Nobody knew he was the man yet. Now that people are game planning for him, so the fact that it's 109.4 is good. Defensive rating right now, 107.1 defensive rating. His best defensive rating of his career. Under Tom Thibodeau, no surprise. And also the net rating 2.3, highest of his career as well. And some of surprising stats. The 41% from three is a surprising stat. Spot up shooting in the 67th percentile for a power forward who wasn't supposed to be able to shoot. He's here now shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing that stands out to me about Julius Randle, and just from a scoring aspect, right, is if you look at his true shooting percentage, it's 58.7%. Now, his highest that he's ever had was when he was on the Lakers, and second was with the Pelicans, where it's over 60%. However, that was predominantly in the paint. So for him to manage 58%, not too far to be from 60% while shooting from all across the field up until this point, that's probably the most impressive thing, because that's that true shooting. For those who don't know, it's like the true aspect of like how do you gauge someone's scoring. That includes free throws, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, any form of just scoring metric tallied into one. And that alone is just like, it's the big indicator of how well he's effectively scoring. To give you an idea of how effective it is, Jarrett Allen is right now currently number 1 in true shooting. That means he's completing most of his shots. Mostly for Jarrett Allen, it's around the rim. Previous season was Mitchell Robinson. Also, Mitch. That's not a shocker because Mitch led in field goal percentage. So that should just give you an indication of what true shooting percentage means. It's how effectively, it's measuring how effective you are at scoring, and to see that he's doing it with the 3-pointer is the biggest, like, the shock, because he's shooting 41%, right? He's shooting over 40%.
Yeah.
And to have even that type of like level of just true shooting is just super impressive for Julius. It's just so hard. There's nothing to really go off of on Julius. It
really isn't.
I don't know.
It's really isn't.
There's really not.
If I had to nitpick, really nitpick, a little bit better in the clutch, like clutch shooting, clutch decisions. It's like, but for me sometimes, I kind of even blame that a little bit on the minutes he's playing, I do feel like if he was able to sit a little bit more, maybe those shots would start to drop, because you can see the efficiency difference from the first quarter to the second to the fourth quarter.
Oh, 100%.
You can see it, right? Like and he's playing on both ends of the floor at 100%. So that's one thing. If I had to nitpick as well, maybe it's his 3-point defense. Is on shooters. That's if I'm nitpicking on those long, those long range power forwards. I don't think he closes out on those a lot. Other than that, slightly better passing, but it's really minuscule stuff, man. He's pretty much hitting on all cylinders right now.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why it's like, I think it's. There's like so little you can like argue about Julius. We'll see more from the second half. Let's also keep him like, I guess, to like pull it back a little. Like we know we had an easier schedule in the first half. Guys missed games, so let's see what we do with the second half. We got a good game tonight. Yeah, I know he played well against Giannis the first time. Let's see if he can replicate that. I have faith in Julius that he can. But let's see what the second half says, man, because this is going to be the real telling sign of how important and how much Julius can keep up this type of production.
Yeah, we're gonna need shooting for sure. I feel like we won that first game because of Elfrid Payton's out of this world shooting for that game. So look like seriously, he was banging it from 3, and that was not on their scouting report. So I think that's a huge reason why we won that game. So we might have to make some jump shots, and I don't know if it's gonna be Julius or whoever, but look out for that. Tonight when we face the Milwaukee Bucks. Final grade for Julius Randle on the night, man. A, B, C.
It's gotta be an A. Like, I don't know how it can't be. It's so hard to not give him like an A. I feel like how can you not give him an A? Like, for what he's done for this team, to have him over a winning record, to be healthy for every single game, to be a true battle ox. Like, I don't know how you can't give him an A.
Yeah, A as well. Like the little minuscule stuff. I don't even know if I'll give anybody A+. That's still a hard grade to give somebody. But if he get like a clutch, if his clutch shooting picked up a little bit towards the end of the games with his minutes, maybe I'll do an A+. That'll be the first A+ I ever gave on one of these rating shows. You know what I mean?
You know what? I have not seen an A+ as a grade in such a long time. And this is just from like. So I went to law school. There's no such thing as an A+, so I don't even think about A+.
Right. There's always something to improve.
Yeah.
A bad game for Julius. A bad grade for Julius probably be A minus. That might be like if you're a Russian judge, like ooh A minus. Why the minus though? You know what I mean? That might be the Simon Cowell grade right there. That
oh my God, Simon.
Yeah, that might be that bruh grade. I don't know.
Oh my God.
About it. But shout out to the chat. Let me know what you think of Julius Randle in this grade. And shout out to everybody right now. Shout out to Fritz, Gregory, XS, Anthony 212, Sherwin M, Info the Knicks verse, above the win year. I see you, bro. I hit you with the year. Everybody who's rocking with the KOT show tonight, and thank you, Alex, for lending a hand, man. Alex always brings some good insight. So welcome to the show, Alex. Also, if you feeling Alex on the show, just type A+ too. There you go. Type A+ for Alex.
Oh man, jeez.
Oh, see A+. You see. All right, and if you love and right now, if you like the show, like and subscribe, please. And also, super chats help the channel as well, helps us grow. And if you don't have the super chats, we also have Cash App and stuff. I don't buy Jordans with it. I help pay writers and build the brand and just build up for the KOT show, right? But salute everybody who supports us, and thank you for checking into our shows. All right, so let's get it. The next guy I want to talk about is the guy who's being affected by the emergence of Julius Randle, and that is Obi Wan, the dunk contest snub.
Oh man,
averaging 4.7 points per game, 48% from the field, 29% from three. Ow, Alex, man, let us know. This might be a shorter breakdown.
This is gonna be a very short breakdown.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't want it to be a short breakdown either. I mean, Obi Toppin. I mean, it's just. I mean, we projected this guy to be. I'll say I won't speak for you, J Eliis. I projected this guy to be the starting power forward at the beginning of the season, just because of the hype of him being ready, ready to go offensively. I thought Julius was out of town. As we saw in the report by Weissman yesterday for the New York Post, if you haven't read it, definitely check it out. Really good insight on the front office and how it worked. I mean, as you pointed out, Jay, earlier in the show, we had Randle, Mitch, and Barrett all on the block, apparently, at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Or even before September, to try to get someone in here to really improve this team. But I'm not going to put that on Tibbs. I mean, he's thinking about winning now. That's been his mantra. So I get it from a coach's perspective. I totally get it. Because you got to think about it from a coach's perspective, right? You're there to win. He knows what it takes to win in New York. He's been there before under Jeff Van Gundy. And you've seen just constant losing for this franchise. So he knows that he's got to turn it around some way, somehow. So I get it. I totally get it. And also his job's on the line for the product that he puts on the floor. He can't take too long to try to build this thing. This is not the area to do a full-on rebuild, as you would say in the Nets or any other small franchise. So I get it. But getting back to Obi, it's tough, man, when you have an all-star in front of you playing 38 minutes a game. There's not really much room for you to demonstrate what you got. For Obi, he's coming from Dayton, where he was the focal point of an offense, of the team. Really, he was the team, right? Everything that they did, they were running through him, scoring a lot in transition,
right?
Playing in the post. I know he shot 39% from college. He showed that he had some good range, even though it's not transpiring in the NBA right now. But it's hard to grade him. For me, what's there to say? We see flashes here and there. Yeah, we see flashes here and there. We see some concerning signs. But I think it's just for him, it looks worse. And I'm going to shout out to my co-host John for pointing this out. It looks worse because we have Emmanuel quickly with a 25th pick. Who's ready to go. And, he's just a year younger than Obi. And then you have Obi, who's the 8th pick, who's just struggling a little. But it's not, both of them are in different situations. Quickly, we had no shooting guard to really shoot.
There's more of a clear path.
It's easy for him to
exactly.
For Toppin, there's a legit all-star in your way that you cannot replace. So it's tough. I can't really grade him for me too harshly. There's some things there. He just needs time.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It kind of reminds me of, and it's not the same situation really, because Obi has more pressure because he's our top pick. But it kind of reminds me when we drafted Klay Anthony early and we had Carmelo Anthony here.
No. No. Oh no. But he was a second round pick.
Yeah, he was a
though.
second round pick. He was
We were really
Yeah.
hoping for that.
We were really. I was
really
like,
hoping
yo,
for that.
Clay is it. Let's go. And then he would get in for like 2 minutes when Melo, the game was over and Melo was like wiping his sweat in the back, and we were up by 20, and we're just looking for signs. Like I know the situation is completely different because of the second round there, and Obi's the 8th pick, and there's more pressure, but. It just brought me back to that for a brief second. But like you said, it's hard to really judge Obi right now because of the lack of playing time. The little things that I've seen him improve on with his limited minutes, I feel like he's getting a slightly better touch in the post. He seemed more like a baby deer in the beginning. I think he's starting to get that a little bit better, especially with these shorter guards, because I was definitely concerned with the shorter guards, the way he was posting, that he wasn't able to finish over, guards in general. It was reminding me of some other power forward we knew that couldn't post on guards and that we shipped out later. But he's starting to get that together. His defense is still shaky. You still hear coaching. You still hear Tibbs calling his name, Obi. Oh, you hear his raspy Halls idiot voice in the background screaming his name for every bad rotation he's done the whole game.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I mean, it's real. Like when you hear Thibodeau calling him, right? That's how you know he's still like a rookie and he's still learning the game. I mean, the one thing that I'll give Obi is that defensively he hasn't been abysmal that he was projected to be. He's actually been pretty decent. I'll give him that. Offensively, it's just tough, man, because we're not. When you have 12 minutes a game, what can you actually do? You get 5 touches, and then it has to be schemed for you. And the scheme right now is not for him to work in the post. It's for the guards to get some shooting, because that lineup is where all the shooting is. Yeah. It's not in the first unit, so
Yeah, and if he can't hit shooting at a consistent rate, then it doesn't even matter what he does. And even when he's playing well, he gets taken out quickly. You know what I mean? So it doesn't even matter. Randle is there in the win. So like you said, I can't rag on a guy too much. He just doesn't get the minutes and the touches. If you only have 9 minutes a game to prove yourself, and even when you're playing good, the coach is not going to let you play 15 minutes. Then what chance do you have? Especially now, considering Taj is out, Mitch is out. You have Noel, who's playing 40 minutes a game, and he has a bad knee, but he's still playing 40 minutes a game. If you can't get time with that lineup, then you're just not getting time. So it really doesn't matter. Yeah. So I don't. But I like the flashes of his passing. His shooting got a tick better. But the most impressive I've seen him is when we've had a guard who can set him up at the rim, and he's been able to finish with consistency at the rim. And absolutely, that's when when Derrick Rose is here, those little oops those little oops really start to, I feel like, help his confidence. And that's why if you look at the clean glass stats, he's shooting at the rim pretty good, 75 percentile for guys on his size. So that's what he needs. He needs a pick and roll point guard to set him up all game and help him finish at the rim, because these threes aren't hitting right now, and he can't really post that efficiently just as of yet. But and also when I look at the clean glass, it looks like his long mid range game is actually pretty decent. 83%, 83
percentile. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, 50. I mean, granted, it's a small sample size too from 4. I mean, he's got more around the rim for, he's gone 28 for 41 around the rim for such a small sample size, or not sample size, but such a short amount of time that he gets on the court. It's really good. He's really good around the rim. That's what he was projected to be. Mm-hmm. So we just got to wait and see. I mean, it's all going to take time for him to come together. So he's just a wait and see. I don't know. It's really hard to evaluate somebody who gets so little time, who was out at the beginning of the season with a calf injury, and who was looking promising in preseason.
That one preseason game, he dominated for 3 minutes. I'm like, yes, we got one. Yes. And then we didn't see it again.
Yep.
You didn't see it again. That's all she wrote. So yeah.
Sadly.
Grade for me, inconclusive, man. I can't even grade this, man. I don't
agree. That's where I was gonna go to.
He's gonna go inconclusive. Okay.
Yeah, it's incomplete. I mean,
Yeah.
what do we have to work with to give him like a full on grade? Like if he was getting, I'd say over 15 minutes a game, like somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes a game on a consistent nightly basis. He didn't miss most of the season due to an injury. Like I can give him a better grade, but we're not even really like getting that.
Yeah.
Like on a nightly basis. Like if you're getting 9 minutes and then you get the pull, or if like you rarely get to play because it's a close game, it's hard for me to give you a readout.
Nah, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. All right, cool. Salute to the chat. Let's head on to the next person. But before we go to the next person, let me just salute to the chat real quick. Hold on a second. Sorry. Oh yeah. So salute to the chat. Yo, shout out to Manscaped as well. All right, but salute to the chat. Shout out to Sherwin M. XS, everybody who's in the chat. SK, shout out to you. You're always supporting the JXT show, KLT show, and John Mika as well.
Hey, my co-host is here. Look at that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, supporting the crew, man. Pod crew.
There we go.
Yeah. Salute to you. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, tell a friend if you love the content. And yeah, we're gonna be doing post-game live shows all the time. We're going to be doing some just breakdowns of some broad concepts that we talk about with the Knicks. All right, so make sure if you're loving the channel, you're loving the content, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the little notification bell too, so you know when the next show is coming on. And also, if you feel you can donate, super chat. It's gonna go to the show. It's gonna help buy mics and all these other stuff to help produce the show even bigger and better and better. All right, next guy I want to talk about though is the guy who's kind of he suited up Obi Toppin for a second when he got here. He came from Detroit. He seemed like he was dead in the water. Tom Thibodeau asked for him. Mark Berman, he was on it early. Mark isn't always right, but sometimes when he's right, he's right. He's in the summer. Mark was like, Tom Thibodeau was looking for Derrick Rose, and long and behold, Derrick Rose ends up in a Knicks uniform. So far, he's averaging 13.5 points per game, 43% from the field, 37% from three. Not bad. Didn't expect that 37% from three from Derrick Rose, man. What's your assessment of Derrick Rose? I know you wrote a piece too, talking about how he can help Emmanuel quickly as well.
Hey, thanks for the plug.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I'll take that alley-oop like Obi Toppin and slam it down.
Hey.
So, yeah, my feelings on Derrick. I mean, Derrick Rose has been a nice addition, nice surprise actually this season. Because as we all know, we've had Derrick Rose on this team before, and if you want to talk about an empty calorie season, I mean, he was averaging 18 points, getting in the stats like over 4 assists, getting you like 3 rebounds a game during that time. Oh my God, I don't even want to go back to that season. Anyway,
I remember I was trying to trade him for homie from the Timberwolves at one point. The point guard, oh man. Ricky Rubio. I was trying to trade him for Ricky Rubio.
Oh yeah. Oh man. That
remember that?
Something. Yep.
Remember those trade rumors?
Remember that.
Oh man.
Absolutely. But look, I like Derrick Rose. He's been a nice addition this season. He's definitely a player that we needed for this team, because as we saw from Alfred Payton, we didn't have shooting.
Right.
Inconsistent play. At least when Derrick Rose has gotten here, it looks like he's been rejuvenated. He sees that this team can make a playoff push, so he's playing with a little bit more vigor in his game. And we've seen that so far since he's been on the Knicks, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's averaging 12.5 points. He's getting 2.6 rebounds, close to 5 assists. He's shooting very well from three right now overall. Just being on the Knicks, he's shooting 45% from three, which is insane.
That's insane. Can he keep this up?
No, that's not right. That's coming down. I'm like his best has
I think it was 37%. I think was his best.
Yeah, 37% is his best. So if it goes down to that, I'll gladly take it.
Wait, 39. I'm seeing 39. That's still pretty high.
That is really high. You see 39? Holy
I'm looking at cleaning the glass though. Hold on. Let me double check that.
Oh, they remove garbage time and stuff like that. So they probably made it a little bit more effective.
Got it.
So No, like Derrick Rose has been playing really well. I can't like without him and how he's played with the first unit for those 3 games when Alfred Payton was out. How he's played with the second unit. Sure, we had some low games like against the Orlando Magic, but still, he's given a lot of energy, especially to the second unit and playing with Emmanuel quickly. Mm-hmm. He's allowed quickly to be off ball and given the chance to open up space, and I like it. I like the way that they play together in the second unit. I also would like it if he played in the first unit too. I think he just offers a different dimension to this team. The fact that he can shoot the 3, and granted it's on a few attempts, it's like 2 per game. It's not high volume, but I will still take it that my point guard can shoot from 3 and then can get rid of the zone that we've been just like seeing this from the beginning of the season. You know, if someone has to actually guard someone at all 3 phases of the game, that changes everything and it opens up for everyone, right? And having not only Julius Randle, but Derrick Rose as 2 playmakers and then adding RJ Barrett as a 3rd playmaker, now you're getting something in that first unit. And even if he's with the second unit, you have him, quickly, Burks, all those guys can play make. And if Obi's there, and Obi can show that he can do a little bit of playmaking as well with his passing. So Derrick Rose has just elevated the play of everyone that he's like played with so far. I like that from him. Just want to see him keep it up. I do not think the 3-point shooting is going to stay at 45%. He is not that type of guy. I would expect I would expect probably the lowest 35%, I think, because he's taking the way he's playing for the most part is not what Derrick Rose was doing when he first came to the New York Knicks, where he was supposed to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like I know we had KP, I know we had Carmelo, but he was supposed to be like one of those big 3 guys. Like he had to get his. Derrick Rose is not playing like he has to get his. He's keeping guys involved, and that's what I like. There's like 1 or 2 games where he had to go all in and just try, but for the most part, he was towing that line. He's been towing that line very well, being aggressive and then getting everyone else involved.
Yo, it's the Thibodeau effect, man. It's absolutely the Thibodeau effect.
Absolutely.
And also, I think he came in not wanting to take over. He had the first game he got in there. He came in with Emmanuel quickly. And he had a talk with Emmanuel quickly and Obi Toppin. He went to dinner and he said, "Hey, I'm not here to take over. I'm here to help you guys." And there was a game where he took over for a 5-minute span or so, 3-minute span or so, and I feel like he snapped out of it. It was like, "All right, quickly, now you go. Like I softened him up for you, finish him." Like so, I feel like he's really cognizant of how he's playing with his teammates and just being a part of the team. You know, at least overall. Yep. I do feel like there was a span where he was pressing a little bit. But and he was just kind of going one-on-one a little bit too much, like going into 3 people on fast breaks and things of that nature. But I think he's kind of pulled back a little bit towards the end before he got out for COVID. Also, it's interesting to see his chemistry with Randle, man.
Yeah,
it's really interesting because we have Elfrid Payton, who passed it to Julius Randle 32% of the time last year. Derrick Rose comes in and instantly seems like he has better chemistry with Julius Randle than he does, and it's just like, how does that happen so quickly? And it just makes you seem like, man, we really need to keep him in the starting lineup, even though there are some benefits to having him with the second unit. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
yeah. I don't know if you want to add something because it sounds like you might have wanted to.
No, like I think like just seeing him with like the first unit, like how he's just like able to like how D Rose is adapted with Julius Randle. I think that's a very good point that you bring up. Like it's just something. I think that's just a maturity in D Rose, right? And I think we saw that starting towards Minnesota, where he got that 50-point game. Yeah, and you just saw that he was happy to get back into the form that he was to be a contributor. And I touched it in my article
with tips
that I dropped yesterday. Yeah, absolutely, right. Shocker. But even like when he was with the Pistons, right? I think he just understands that he's not the MVP Derrick Rose anymore. He's not going to be the catalyst. So he had to change his game, and he's seeing that he doesn't have to be this aggressive, super explosive, hyper athlete, to really be effective. He's legitimately learned how to play the point guard position, and it's just beautiful to see.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful to see. And even his defense, man, I was looking at the stats. Net rating with the Knicks, 12.1, highest of his career. That's kind of insane. Something has to come down, right? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Defensive rating, 96.7, also highest of his career so far. Again, small sample size, but the Thibodeau effect, man. The defense he's playing right now at his older age is way better than the defense he was playing with his first thing with the Knicks. It's insane, man. Thibodeau effect is really taking shape right now. Grading Derrick Rose.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you grade Rose, man?
Grading Derrick Rose. Wow. Through the mid.
It's rough.
Because it's only 10 games.
Yeah, it's rough. It's only 10 games.
You go first.
I'll take the bullet. I'm gonna go B plus.
That's higher than I would go, just because it's a small sample size. It's rough for me to give him a B plus. I'm gonna give him it a B minus.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Just because 10 game for me, it's 10 games.
It's 10 games.
He missed the last two. Gotta see how he continues for the remainder of the season. I know it's a small sample size. I'm really like optimistic from his play, but it's just hard for me to give such a small sample size coming over from Detroit too. And he was playing okay in Detroit. Now, I know he's playing with a different energy right now, but I gotta see that go on. It's just too short for me to go that high.
I feel you. For me, it's just like what if I'm asking myself what does he improve on? I'm going, all right. He's shooting three well. He's passing pretty okay. His defense has been good. He had a stretch where I felt like he was a little bit selfish, but that stretch wasn't that long. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't. It's hard for me to. For me, the lowest I can go is a B in my mind, because even it's a 10-game stretch, he's been pretty consistent. I mean, that's my rationale. Anyway.
Yeah. I guess if I'm going to be a stickler, the thing is, and we can move on from this, the stickler I would be for is the 2 games where he went back to like old D Rose.
Yeah.
So that's being a stickler. That's where it's like that's the only if he didn't have those 2 games, and like I get why it happened those 2 games, I can give him like a B and be more comfortable. I'll stick with the B minus.
Okay, all right. Salute to the chat. Which I'm seeing B minus and B. I went full Paula Abdul with the B plus. It's cool. It's cool. I see the roses in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Salute to everybody who's watching KOT show, man. If you love the content, if you like the show, please like and subscribe. Yeah, we're gonna be doing post-game live shows, and we're gonna be doing some broad topic breakdowns once a week as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. Shout out to Fritz, D Nice, Chris Reddick. I see my cousin Winston. Shout out cousin Winston Ellis, man. That's my fake cousin Winston Ellis. Shout out to you. Will John, who says B minus, this is grade. King Cantona, SK, everybody who's rocking with the KLT. I hope you're enjoying the stream and enjoying the show so far. All right. Next up, I feel like once you start to talk about point guards, you have to start to mention other point guards just in comparison, because it's just the flow, right? We were ready to ship this man out, Alex. We was ready. He couldn't shoot. He wasn't passing right. This is the lowest pass percentage of his entire career. We're ready to ship him out, and then he started playing a little bit better, and I went from irate to content. To content.
Very good way to put it.
Yeah. Talking about Alfred Payton, 12.7 points per game, 3.7 assists, 0.7 steals, 44% from the field, 25% from 3, 25% from
Bruh.
Okay. All right, Alex. Let me know, man. What are you feeling about Alfred Payton? And do you feel like he should be starting with the New York Knicks right now with Derrick Rose coming here? I just threw that in you just to mess with you. I don't know.
Really throwing me a curveball with
My
that.
bad.
I thought we were grading here, Jay.
We are grading.
So for Peyton, I guess I will say I would rather have D Rose start, because I'd rather have Frank and Quickly as the backcourt with Burks in the second unit, and I'll stick to that. Not because I would have Frank as the point guard. I would just have like a 3-guard combo where they're all on and off ball guards, and they can all do their thing. For D Rose, he just changes the dynamic of the first unit. But I get why Peyton is there. Peyton has solid defense, in my article, he actually finishes around the rim better than both D Rose and Emmanuel quickly. Even though people probably don't want to hear it. He doesn't shoot the three, and it's very low volume for it being 25% on barely one attempt per game. That's insane. It's just it's over one attempt. It's close to two attempts, I should say. It's 1.8, but he's not even making close to one when he does. So it's hard. I like the fact that he can break down a defense by attacking, but you can't consistently break down a defense when everyone just knows that you're doing the same thing over and over.
Right.
That's what makes a good basketball player on the offensive side, is that they're diverse in how they score. Payton, we just know what's coming. He's played solid defense. He's done well against Steph Curry earlier this season. He's played well against other guards earlier this season too. He did a decent job against Dame. It's nothing to go right home about we got a lockdown defender. No. But he's done a decent job playing the point guard. And I also think his assists are down because I think Thibodeau knows that we got to run this through Julius Randle. So let Julius be the playmaker. If Payton can find somebody, that'd be great. Although I would still like Payton to find more players now than he is, because he's only getting 3.7 assists, and he's been over 6 assists per game. He's known for getting triple doubles. So, and it's not 20 points. It's 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. And I'd like to see him facilitate more.
Absolutely.
But it's a mixed bag. I get it. I also am not a big fan of it either. I just get it. So, and that's just I know Knicks fans are just say that he's terrible, all this and stuff. I can't say that he's terrible because he's not. There's guards that are just not in the league. He's in the league for a reason. He's starting. He gives you something that you just we don't, when we watch him play we don't watch defense the same way that we watch offense. Offense is just prettier, right? We want to see people score and just the creativity and how you get points. No one's really looking to see if you can lock up a guy and how well you lock up a guy,
right,
or how well you fit in a scheme. So, it's a mixed bag. I'm not I would want to see Payton on a different team, but I also understand that we kind of need point guard depth when we see the situation right now where we don't have Rose. So
yeah, it kind of fell apart a little bit when we didn't have a guy who can break down the offense. We have to kind of change. And I talked about this before. We got to change. If we don't have a guy who can break down the offense, we have to change the way we play. But that's a whole nother conversation I'm going to get away from. As far as Alfred Payton, though, you're right. At the rim, he is shooting better than the rest of our guards. The thing is, he's gotten a lot better over the season. In the beginning of the season, he was abysmal with shooting at the rim. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, that number has trended up, and he's at the point where he's almost average for a point guard at finishing at the rim. Almost average, a tad bit above under average, 48% in the 48th percentile. And when you're looking at his rest of the cleaning the glass numbers, they're all bad. So it's short mid range, long mid range. All the shooting stats are bad all across the board. And when you look at his at the rim stats, it's barely average. So. And it's also when you're looking at, he's one of the 2 people in the starting lineup with a negative net rating, which is also interesting.
It's so, right, the net rating, it's considering the offensive part of it too, right? So
yeah,
the offense is barely there, and it's not consistent enough where it can be 0.
Right.
That's why you're seeing a negative rating. So
exactly. So, and it's funny because it's him and Mitch. It's him and Mitch, and I feel like Mitch's net rating is kind of connected to his, but that's a whole nother story too. But I'm not even going to get into that. But that, to me, well, you know what? I'll say, because he doesn't pass it to him as much. He doesn't really pass it. The lob is not good there anymore. But that's all I have to say about that. So he's okay. I'm not going to trash the kid. I would rather go another direction. That's why when you're looking at these trade rumors, you're always hearing about a point guard. You're always hearing about Lonzo Ball, because it's obvious that we need to upgrade the point guard. And although he's gotten better, it would be nice to see if we can mix up our point guard rotation. But that's all going to be up to Tibbs. especially when Derrick Rose gets back. Grading Elfrid Payton. What would you give Elfrid Payton?
C.
C?
Yeah, C or C minus, somewhere around there. Because, and it's more so of like the facilitating. I'd probably go with, yeah, I'll give it a C. I'm gonna stick with a C, just because.
C? Okay, all right.
Yeah, just a C because there are nights where it's like, okay, you helped tonight. I think like there are nights where it's like you helped tonight.
You did your job.
Yeah, no, like it is, and then it's like the other part is like he's not a shooter.
We know this.
He only finishes around the rim for the most part. His passing has gone down.
Yeah.
He plays okay defense, and that's where it's like I give him a C because he's able to be on the floor. He's able to stay on the floor for 20 minutes and not completely just blow it away.
Sounds like the word.
So
grading on a scale. He's able to stay on the floor for 20 minutes. So yeah, you know.
I mean, it could be a lot worse. Hey man, it could be a lot. It could be like Chris Dunn when Thibodeau had him in the beginning. It's not that.
True. Touche. I'm gonna give him. I'm a Paula Abdul. I'm gonna give him a C plus.
Being very kind.
Just because he helped us beat the Bucks.
All right. If he helps tonight, then he gets that A, right?
If he helps tonight, he gets the A. Nah. The A, that's for an A. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I think C plus. I think C plus is fair considering all of his numbers are down, and his shooting is slightly. Yeah, C plus. I'm rocking with that. I'm rocking with that. All right, next up, man. Next up, let's talk about the Burke dog.
Okay.
Alec Burks gave you 11.1 points per game, shooting 40% from the field, 40% from three. He's the guy who I was kind of excited about because he did his thing with the 76ers. I thought he might be a really good value pickup for the Knicks. He's able to give you some playmaking, some three-point shooting, and able to draw some fouls for us, man. What did you think about Alec's midseason so far?
Alec Burks, I like what he's brought to the Knicks, especially with the second unit as another playmaker, a shooter. I like the fact that he can like create for himself in isolation, right?
Right.
I like that aspect, and I like it with the second unit too. I think he'd be fine with the first unit, but it's gonna run so much through Julius.
It didn't work with the first
and
unit.
RJ.
That's the crazy part. When Bullock was out, it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. I mean, the thing is, I would probably say Burks' defense is nowhere close to Reggie Bullock's. And just because Reggie gives you a little bit more length, wingspan wise, like with his arms. So, and Reggie's just fine to just like let him even though Reggie's inconsistent from beyond the arc, you can just leave Reggie just spot up. You know, you're not gonna get isolation plays from Reggie. You know, it's like when Reggie's open, he's gonna catch and shoot. Burks does more than that, and I think with the first unit in general, like it's fine. Like it's fine when we watch him close games, right? Having Burks in there when he closes games, that's where he's fine. He already got into rhythm and whatnot. Yeah. I think he likes coming off the bench and getting into rhythm that way. Not as much pressure when you start.
Yeah,
totally
different vibe when closing games for sure.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I can agree with that. No matter how good Bullock is playing in the beginning, Burks is closing at the end. Yes.
Please. Yes. Fourth quarter mishaps. Don't like to see it
at all. Continue, sir.
But anyway, sorry, you just brought back bad memories of just like seeing the ball just like hit off the behind the backboard.
Yeah, behind the backboard at numerous out of bounds. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
going down a rabbit hole.
My God, thanks for that, J Eliis. But no, like him closing games with the first unit, you start to see like he's gotten a rhythm. Totally different vibe when you play with the first unit. The starting unit, I should say, and then coming off the bench, probably a little bit more relaxed feel just to get into the game. You know you're going against a little lesser talent, right? To a certain degree.
Yeah, exactly. Beat up on little kids, like nephews and stuff.
Exactly. So for him, like I like what he does with the second unit. Like I said, creating, shooting. He's been shooting really well from from beyond the arc. He's inconsistent. That's my only thing. That's my only gripe with him. It's either he's really hot or he's really cold. And he was really hot to start the season.
Yeah.
But when he came back against like Sacramento, Golden State Warriors, it was a brick fest. But he's been playing. He's been playing fine now. So, there's nothing. I like the way he plays. I do, because I see what we get.
You know what? I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence with him for a few reasons. I know some Knicks fans are kind of like tough on him because they feel like he's inconsistent. But when you check out his numbers, he's 75% talent in spot ups, which is pretty good. It's not a bad number at all. 75% in spot ups is solid, pretty solid. And you know what? Like he said, he's a little bit more clutch, and he's a value pick. He's a value pick at only $6 million a year. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with this trade deadline with this guys like this, because when we first signed them, you start to realize, one of these guys might be flipped at the deadline just because they're just that flippable. They're guys you can plug into any playoff team and they'll serve a role and they'll do well. But I'm on the fence about him. I like him. He's shooting 40% for three, which is pretty damn good, considering all the criticism he's getting. He's just not shooting at the rim at a high rate like he used to. Like that's gone down according to clean the glass. Also, he's not drawing fouls at a high rate like he used to last year. So I think that's another thing that's gone down. So for him, I want to see those numbers start to go up. I want to see him take a little bit more command of the second unit. And now when I say command, I don't mean just shooting shots. I mean playmaking as well, because with Derrick Rose in the starting lineup and the ball going between IQ and Alec Burks, I want to see them pass the ball and set this offense up more, because there's been times in that second unit where I feel like the offense got stagnant, and I'm looking at Alec Burks to keep that from happening in a more consistent basis, just like he did when he was the 76ers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Alec Burks. Defense still needs to be picked up a little bit, but overall, he's solid role player for us. Only $6 million for the year. That's it. Can't ask for more from him.
No, not at all. I mean, we weren't expecting Burks to come here and be like some gangbuster, like cornerstone player. He's legitimately a role player. What we get out of him, that was kind of like the thing about signing him. It's like, you look at his number, like if you just look at the counting numbers, right, and his statistics, it's like, oh, this guy shoots very well. It's like, he goes from being hot and cold, that's who he is. Who you're going to get on a nightly basis, you're probably going to get him like better than most on a nightly basis. But when he's cold, he's just cold.
Right.
I like what he does. I like the playmaking aspect. I would like to see more of that, like you. The defense, I definitely would like to see that step up a little bit. Other than that, I think the only thing I really want from him is just to score and just help alleviate the pressure, because the thing is that we don't have consistent knockdown shooters on this team.
Yeah.
Right? Other than Julius Randle. So
other than Julius Randle, which is it's like crazy to think about that.
Yeah, that's the most interesting part of the season, right? That Julius Randle is our consistent 3-point shooter.
Insane.
Insane indeed. So I just like to see more consistency from Burks, because when we look at that second unit, IQ is another guy, like he's a rookie. I'm not expecting a lot out of IQ, but he's another one that can go, either 6 for 7 from 3 or 1 for 10. And if you're going to have that with another guy like Alec Burks, who could go, 3 for 5 or 5 for 7, and then you have him go 1 for 10 as well, it's like you can't have both of those guys going, and then it's just tough. We need them to go, because otherwise it's really gonna be tough for that second unit. To score.
Exactly. I need him to step up to bubble. I called him Bubble Burks when we got him. He needs to step up to Bubble Burks territory, because when Alec Burks was in the bubble, he was gaming, right? Like he was on another level.
Everybody was gaming in the bubble, though.
Bring that to the Garden, man. That's all I'm saying. Bring Bubble Burks to the Garden. I want to see Bubble Burks revitalized. Just like the first 2 games of the season, bring Bubble Burks back. Second half of the season, we're going to need you, man.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I covered the Denver Nuggets for Hoops Habit as well as the Knicks. And look, they have the same complaints about Jamal Murray right now. It's like, where is this elite guy that we saw in the bubble? That's everybody. You know, it's different when you don't have to travel. You just wake up out of your bed, you go to the gym, and then, you know, you're playing on the same court every single night without any fans. So it's like playing pickup, right? If you go to your same court that you play pickup ball, I guarantee that you can hit almost. And if you're a really good shooter, you can almost hit from almost every spot on that court comfortably because you've been there so many times. If you go to a new court, I guarantee you're not going to shoot as well as you probably will in that first game.
True. All right. Okay. All right. You're great. I'm giving him a B-. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd go with a B- as well.
All right, 2 B-. Chat, let me know what you think. Put your grades in the chat. What would you give Alec Burks' performance on the season? We got 2 B. I think 2 B-. We agreed this time. Mm-hmm. I think we agreed on half of them. What would you say, chat? Salute to the chat. And while y'all grading me, just salute everybody in the chat. SK, Felix Pizarro, D Nice, always supporting. Greg is always here. Jonathan JD says, salute to the Nick of Time platform, the panel, the guests, and the supporters. Shout out to you, Jonathan JD. I'm glad you were here. Rick Harrison, man, shout out to you as well. I see you peeking back and forth in here a lot of times as well. So shout out to you, Rick Harrison. He says, get Burks in the second half. All right. He's with it. All right. Grades. Yo, we're almost done with the breakdowns, man. They said it couldn't be done.
But we here.
We broke down there. We broke down quickly. We broke down Randle. We broke down IQ. We broke down RJ. We breaking down the whole damn team, damn it. The whole damn team. I got B- and B's in the chat for Burks. And 20 minutes till game time. Let's go. Exactly. We're going to wrap this up before game time. I'm with it. I was nervous. It's like, man, we got mad players done. We going to be able to get through this? Yes, we are. Just in the nick of time. Hey.
Oh, there it was.
My Clyde. See my Clyde. Yo, if you feel the show, hit the like and subscribe to the channel, man. Rock with KOT. We're going to do some live streams all the time. We're going to do some post-game live stuff as well. So I would love for you to chat with us and tell us if we're crazy, we're dumb, or we're really smart, or maybe just somewhere in between. All right?
Oh, man.
All right. Cool. All right, next player. You know what? I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna end with a doozy. I'm not even gonna go him there. I'm gonna go to the guy who's been filling in for our injured Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel, who's been number 5 in the NBA in block shots, averaging 4.9 points per game, 61% from the field, 6.1 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game. Oh, killing them. Let's go, Nerlens Noel. Doing great for us this year. What can you tell us about Noel's performance so far?
He needs some hands. Nah,
it's true.
Nah, it was rough. It's true, but it's rough to come off like that hot.
That's what we do here. I've made. Is my mic low? People saying I checked the mic. People in the beginning said my mic was good. Now they're saying it's low. How is it? Am I too far from the mic? How is it right now, guys? Mic low, mic good.
All right, should I just continue with the breakdown?
Continue the breakdown. Continue the breakdown.
All right. So for Noel, he's got stone hands. I wish he can catch the ball better. Somehow he can catch it above the rim, but he can't catch it somewhere between the chest and his waist. That's just I don't know how that happens. Really, I don't know how that happens, but it happens.
You're 7 feet tall. You shouldn't even be able to bend down that low.
It's real. It's brutal, man. I just see it. I'm just like, yo, get this man some stick him. Get this man wide receiver gloves.
All
something.
The
get
Gorilla
him
glue.
Get
everything.
Everything, man. Get him some duct tape,
all of it.
Double-sided tape, whatever, man. But I like the way he's been playing defense. A little concerning when we started the season. I know he was getting 15 minutes per game. Mm-hmm. I know he's injury prone, especially with his knees. He's had surgery. But I like the way he's come on in the absence of Mitchell Robinson. We're getting pretty much great defensive effort from him. Shot blocking, just being able to, his rebounding on the defensive side. I know it's not crazy high numbers, but he's blocking out. He's battling.
Yeah.
He's in the trenches trying to make sure that he's protecting it on that side of the end. And he's been doing a good job too. Maybe that's because we've been playing, lesser teams at this point. Maybe it was because of the softer schedule.
Right.
But I think for him to get back into playing like 30-minute plus games, it was good for him. Sadly, it's always sad to see like a player get injured, but Mitch got, I guess, injured at the right time because it was a depleted Washington Wizards. We had a depleted Houston Rockets, so it gave enough time for Nerlens Noel to get back into rhythm and adjusted to the game because he's been super key, right? We need a shot blocker. That's pretty much what Thibodeau likes.
Yeah.
These guys that can just protect the paint,
Absolutely.
protect the rim, have good vertical leaping ability.
Pretty much a Mitch clone.
Yeah, no, it really is like a Mitch clone, and I think that's like even with Joakim Noah, right? Like that's what he had out in Chicago. I know Cat didn't really give it to him in Minnesota, but that's what Tibbs likes. He needs someone that protects the paint, and the one thing I want to see more from Noel going forward is just on the offensive end. I know we don't really use the centers as a focal point of scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to see Noel just like seriously, just like catch the ball,
Just catch
like
the
finish
damn
well.
ball.
Yeah, that's it. And just like because offensively, there's not much I can ask from him. Like when he gets it, he does an okay job finishing. Like he's usually like 2 for 4, something along those lines, maybe 3 for 4 in the paint. The good thing is like he has a little jumper too, and maybe that goes in. So I'm not looking for him to be the offensive engine of this team.
Nah,
But just seriously, just catch the ball.
just catch the
Because,
damn.
there's
Just play your role. That's it.
There's just so many times where like we get like a missed easy bucket, like a nice like an easy lay-in, because he gets it from like Randle or RJ, or even Toppin sometimes like earlier in the season. And it's like, dude, that was so easy.
Yo,
like that's easy points,
dude.
and we lose out. And that's the thing. Like we're losing out on easy points because guys in the paint, like even same thing with Mitch. It's like you have to catch it and get that and like utilize that opportunity, and that it just forces more pressure on other guys to score. So
Man,
that's my thing.
There was a play when somebody's passing the ball from out of bounds. No defensive pressure. It's a simple pass from out of bounds to Nerlens Noel, and he dropped the ball and rolled out of bounds.
Bruh.
Like what the
Yeah.
hell? I was sitting here like there was no defensive pressure. How did this happen? You're 2 feet from the ball. Like, did you not play catch with Pops back in? I don't understand.
Yeah, I was joking, man. I said I don't know if he can catch a tennis ball.
I don't think he can. Like, it just that's. I have no real breakdown for this guy. That's all I want. Just catch the ball. Everything else is online. Same defensive rating as Mitch. If anything, he sets a little bit better picks than Mitch, so gives people more
That
time
is
on
true.
the pick and roll. And he's been playing well. We're just fortunate that him playing 40 minutes a game, he has not been injured yet. So hopefully, either Mitch comes back or Todd's coming back, or we bring back Kyle O'Quinn. Oh, I would like that. It's a cheap option. I know some people are wanting Andre Drummond and guys, but we need a cheap option who's not going to who's not going to disturb the chemistry. That's why I like the Kyle O'Quinn pickup. He's not going to demand the ball. He's going to give you offense, defense, and he's going to give you a little bit of passing with the backdoor cuts, just like when McDermott was here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset with KOQ. I like O'Quinn. Used to see him a lot when I went to the gym when I was back in Westchester. See him there all the time.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, man. Actually, funny thing about Kyle O'Quinn, when I'd see him practice in the gym, he'd always practice bringing the ball up, and I'm just like, when are you gonna bring the ball up? Like I'm just wondering to there's nothing against Kyle O'Quinn.
If Fizz was here, he would have brought the ball up at some point. All right, if he was here during the Fizz era, because he had Von Lay bringing the ball up, he had Randle playing, he would have brought the ball up if he stayed for Fizz. But he wanted to leave because you know what it is.
For sure.
He was going through the youth movement.
I totally understand. I like Kyle O'Quinn. I like what he gave to that team. He's a true team player. I like Kyle O'Quinn a lot.
Absolutely, man.
Also fun. If you haven't checked it, DC Zamero interviewed him, and he's got a whole.
Oh yes, I love that interview, man.
The whole thing about using Spirit Airlines. That thing had me dying.
Oh, yeah, Spirit.
That was funny.
Yeah, Spirit Airlines it's not safe. Like just the name Spirit airlines in itself just sounds creepy. It just sounds like you're not going to make it. You're not going to land safely. That's what it sounds like to me. I'm just saying. Spirit. Why is it named? Because your soul. Never mind.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah,
All
it's okay.
Anyway, it's just to finish up this Nerlens Noel talk, because I know we went on a little riff. I would probably give Noel a B, just because he's done an admirable job in the absence of Mitch, setting solid screens, doing all the dirty work. I'll give him a B. I would give him a B plus.
If you caught the ball.
If he caught the ball.
Me talk. I'm just the fact that he's dropped so many balls because pause. I wanted to.
Yeah, it's a major pause, bro.
Yeah, my bad. Man, I want to give him a B plus so bad because some of these blocks he's doing is just
it's insane.
He's hurting dudes' feelings out here with these blocks, man. He
really
He had a
is.
couple of ooh picks on this show. If you don't know what ooh picks, you have to watch this show a little bit longer. All right, you find out what ooh picks are. But yeah, man, B plus, almost B. I'm going with the B.
All
right. Let's wrap it up. I'm telling you right now, people want me to review Austin Rivers. I'm not doing it.
Bruh.
All right, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But do you know who we're going to review though?
Oh,
You know who we gonna review. Frank Ntilikina. Let's go. Let's get it. Frank Ntilikina. We thought he was gonna be traded. He thought he was gonna come back from the Dodgers. And he's come back with a vengeance. And he seems like he might be working his way back into this rotation. Right?
Yeah.
Right now he's only averaging 5.8 points per game. But he's shooting 48% from the field and 62% from three. Oh.
Oh man. Well, Frank's giving you all the ammo, man. He's really giving you and everyone else in the hive so much ammo. It's great.
all the bullets I took on other channels. Bring him back to France, they said. Ship him. I said he can shoot. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm not even going to go through my rant. Go ahead. Alex, what do you think? What do you think of Frank?
I mean, I'm impressed with the way Frank has been playing since he's came back from injury and even prior to injury. My thing with Frank, once again, if I'm going to be consistent, his sample size is too small to really give a conclusive grade. But I like what he's showing so far. I like the fact that he's showing confidence. Mm-hmm. Like he's shown more confidence now than prior when he got injured. I know he shot really well against the Bucks earlier in the season. He's been shooting really well since he's come back. Shot well against the Pistons. Watching him play with the first unit against the San Antonio Spurs, it kind of looked like he was out of his element because I know they needed a point guard that night. And the thing is that Frank isn't a point guard. He's an off-ball guard, 3-and-D guy. He can do a little bit more than just shoot and play defense. You're seeing that he's adding that to his repertoire. You got the step back. He's getting a little fancy with his handle. He can pass. He knows how to swing. Obviously, the defense is going to be there, especially on the perimeter. He does all the little dirty work that you want players to do. Take the charge. He's very technical. He's very technical with
Too
the way he
technical
plays.
sometimes. He be in his head, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, he's very technical. But I like what I've seen from Frank so far. The thing that I want to see more is that can he do this against better opponents, and can he keep up this consistency?
Right.
I don't even care that he really as long as he shoots, right? I don't care if it's necessarily missing. Like, if they're going to drop because that shot looks really good now. It is crisp, Shout out to David Zenon for when he was on Knicks Fan TV. He talked about Frank having a hitch in his shot, and Frank doesn't have a hitch in his shot.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, where's the hitch?
It's so smooth at this point. And that was last season, talk about the hitch. But this season, there's no hitch when you watch him play. But I like what I see from Frank. It's very few games. If I'm going to, for Obi, it's Obi's played few games, and like it's very hard to give like a full on grade. And for me,
Yeah,
for Frank,
yeah.
it's really hard. It's really hard for me to give like a full because I can't. It's just so little to work with right now. Like I need more games. I wish he played more games too.
Yeah.
I wish he didn't actually have to go through that whole COVID protocol because I think he would actually gotten time too then. So I don't know. But I like what I see so far. Hopefully he continues it up for the second half.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I'm going to just say this guy just needs time, man. He just needs one, he needs time, and two, he just needs not to be injured. The three-point shot is there. And I said this beginning of the season, for him to get time, because he's more of a off-ball guard, he has to think more of like an off-ball guard. And what Tom and his team needs from these off-ball guards are guys who aren't afraid to shoot. Like, so he needs to have more. He needs to chuck pretty much. Like how Reggie Bullock, his attempts are like around 5 a game or so from the three-point line. That's what Frank needs to do at a more consistent basis to get more playing time, because he already has defense. He has good team defense, and he has a slightly more playmaking abilities than Bullock and Knox and those guys at that position. Everybody not named RJ. So for you to be in the NBA or you just on this team, you just need to put up more shots and be confident in those shots. And if you do that on a more consistent basis, he'll be on the way, and I think he'll be fine. And I'm not good. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. You said it all.
Yeah. There's. I mean, I can't. I would be contradicting if I didn't give Obi a grade and gave Frank a grade. That'd just be.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give inconclusive as well. Although the part I saw was very conclusive, but I'm giving you an inconclusive. But I'm gonna wait. Man. I'm gonna wait. He needs at least give me 10 games like D Rose so I can really make an assessment. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Give me 10. If he had 10 full games playing like consistent minutes, like over 15 minutes, I could give you something. But
yeah, and you know what too? Kevin Knox as well. Like Kevin Knox,
also inconclusive.
He's like, what do we do with Kevin? He was in rotation playing 10 minutes a game or so, 15. He was corner 3 Kev for a minute, and then he falls off. Like his defense has gotten better, but not that much better.
It's the same thing, Jay. It's like it's so small of a sample size that we have of these guys because they don't get that many minutes, and when they come in, they look good. But you know, I can't take. It's like we can't take like 5 games of just like inconsistent play and just be like, all right, this is who they are. Right. Because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't like. It's funny when you look at this team because we have depth, but not depth. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not
we have
like,
bodies, but not necessarily the talent to contribute on a consistent basis to win games. Which is why we're even looking at the trade deadline. Like maybe we should add something.
Exactly. So that's what makes it so hard to get these guys time on the court. But I don't know, Kevin, Frank, I know you don't want to talk about Austin Rivers, but even Austin Rivers, meh.
Yeah.
Like he had like good games and then he went flat and then it was just over once D Rose came. So another one where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we just wonder what are these guys' roles, especially once Derrick Rose comes back. I'm not sure what the front office is thinking. I can definitely see, Frank, Knox, Austin Rivers, any of these guys being shit by the deadline, depending on how we're playing. The judges depending on how we're playing right before trade deadline and seeing what our needs are, seeing if we continue to shoot well from 3. Because right as of now we've gotten up to 13% from 3. Is that going to continue? So keep an eye out on these guys. It's right now the chemistry is so high. You don't want to really make a move. So that's probably the camaraderie is there. It seems like everyone likes each other. So you just don't want to. You really don't want to make the wrong move and just have everything just completely fall apart at this point. So that's why it just seems like maybe the move might just be stay pat. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these guys get moved. Like the Frank, the Knox, and the Austin Rivers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Those are guys who are definitely on the block, and I would be surprised if Austin Rivers wasn't moved, I'd probably be I don't know. I feel like Knox, Frank. See, those are guys that are on the teetering edge where like I wouldn't be surprised if they got moved, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get moved.
Yeah.
Just because it's so hard to get a read on the front office because they keep everything so close to the vest. But I can see all those guys getting moved for a better asset, but I can also see them being kept if they see them as an asset moving forward. They're besides Austin Rivers, because Austin Rivers is on a 1-year deal. Like, I know it's a 3-year contract, but it's really a 1-year deal. The other 2 years aren't guaranteed. I only see Knox and Frank as the two like in betweens of like they could go either way.
Yeah, especially Frank, because you know he's we would have to pick up his option. Like he can. Knox has a whole full other year next season, to be with the team. So Frank especially if he starts to play well, his draft stock, his stock can rise up. I can see them trying to move him as well. So we will see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll say this though before we head out. Theo Pinson gets an A+ for effort.
Oh yeah, Theo Pinson gets for the dancing. Theo Pinson gets an A+ for the dances, man. For the dances, for the cheering, for being the most excitable Knick I've ever seen not play 2 minutes a game. Shout out to Theo Pinson, man.
Facts. Salute to Theo Pinson.
Exactly. And as always, shout out to World Wide West.
Shout out the World Wide West.
Facts.
As always. All right, yo. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody who's watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please, if you like the show, please like, subscribe, share. We did it, man. We've made it through every player on the Knicks that we can really talk about, and we finished before the game started. All right. Thank you for everybody who sent the super chat. Shout out to you, Chico Fernandez, who sent a $5 super chat. Says, hit that thumbs up button for the homies. All the love, Jay, and my Knicks, Jets, etc. fam. Shreddercaster, continue success, fellas. Let's get this dub. That is right.
Salute to Chico.
Yeah, salute to you, Chico. Yeah, so that's it. It's time to sign off, man. Where can they find you, sir? Plug all your stuff.
All right, on Twitter, it's at Shreddercaster101. You can find my work over at Hoops Habit. You can find my other work over at KnicksFanTV.com. I just dropped an article yesterday on how D Rose can help the Knicks and Emmanuel quickly. You can also find the pod, Knicks, Jets, etc. on all streaming platforms, whether it's Anchor, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Overcast, Apple, you name it, we're there. And if you're into sports betting, you can also find me at TallySite. Just gave you my bet for today. So, yeah.
All right. And you can find me, well, actually, personally, J Eliis draws things. I draw things, if you didn't know. I do our merch. Logos, designed the set here, design a set for Knicks Fan TV. I'll do it all, man. So follow me if you want to see some artwork and stuff like that. Also follow us on the KOT show on Twitter. Of course, see all this Knicks content. Follow us on the NickOfTimeShow.com to see our bloggers, Ken, Mikey, Rob, etc. Everybody who writes for the Nick of Time show. And also, man, follow us on Instagram at the Nick of Time Show, that Nick Time Show as well, and also on Facebook as well. All right. Yeah, and also listen to us on all, we're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or audio platforms as well if you want to listen to our stuff on those platforms. Okay? And, of course, YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, and donate if you can to help the cause. All right? That is our show, guys.